Happy Wednesday, everybody. Made it to the middle of the week. And boy, what a week it's been. It's really hard to believe that just a week ago it was January 1st. So, welcome, everyone. I'm very grateful you're here. Please give it a like. I would appreciate that very much. Absolutely. I like it. Spirit gang, right? Absolutely. I actually just got back from the ocean and threw a couple crystals in. So I threw in an onyx, a black one, and commanded that any finances in the red for anyone, any soul here in this process, be moved to the black immediately. And then I also put in an amethyst and requested that for all souls needing healing at this time, may they find the solution that they need for their highest good to have healing. So those are the two things I requested and commanded. I don't ask. There's no asking from me. Yeah, absolutely. And so I do have a little video of that, and I'll share that out on Telegram when we're done with this. So super grateful to be here today. I am home, and I had an amazing day, which is part of this, you know, this calm within the chaos, because it doesn't matter what's going on externally. It's really what's happening here, and are you letting things infect you personally? And so I'm not saying there's not tragedy in the world. There is. What I am saying is you deserve to have peace through this process, because the world right now is looking a hell of a lot of crazy, like a lot of crazy right now, and a lot of chaos, and a lot of souls are struggling. So I just want to take a moment and hold that unconditional love, and may all those suffering find peace within their hearts and their space at this time. Yeah, absolutely. Hello, Shay. Hi, Into the Void. And of course, we have Carolyn in the background. Thank you, Carolyn. Appreciate you. And who's back east, and it's very cold right now. So on Monday, I made a conscious choice to go up and go snowboarding for the day. That would be the first time this year. For those of you that don't know, my previous life, prior to the painting business and Adventures for Connection, was actually managing a retail store. It was called Pacific Border. It was on a busy street in Vancouver on West 4th Avenue, where all the snowboard shops were, and sailboard shops. I actually lived in Whistler for a few years, and that's when I learned how to snowboard. So definitely dating myself. We're talking late 90s. And at the beginning of 2000, I moved back to Vancouver and got a job as the manager of Pacific Border. And I was also the soft goods buyer, accessories, clothing. And over 7 years, that store went from 700,000 a year to 7 million a year. And so that was me staffing it, me merchandising it. So it was definitely, the owner never ever said, Tanya, you can't do that. It was basically free reign, right? Because he just knew, he's just like, just let her go. And so I lasted 7 years before retail got to me. And I had lots of opportunity. I spent a lot of time at Whistler because it was part of the game, per se, that reps would always, I never paid for passes. We had passes. I could go up when I wanted. And it was just one of those things where when I go now, it's like I'm only picking the sunny day, not very long lift lines, because who wants to sit in a lift line, and not windy, because it can get really windy up there. And so it was a really divine day. It was clear, it was sunny, there was no wind, and there was very, very little lift line. So I was locking in joy. That was my a whole reason for going, was just to have that freedom, flow, that feeling of surfing on the snow, of the sun in my face, and just really feeling into that feeling, because that's what you need to lock in. So we go through the Hawkins consciousness scale, and we all know that anger is way down at the bottom, and then slowly as you go up, right? You get up into the higher, yes, thank you. Get up into the higher levels, and we get into this forgiveness. We get into unconditional love. not just for others, but for yourself. And that's one of the most important ones to me. Joy's right up there, and then authenticity, and then, of course, enlightenment. And so as we go through this and you manage and, hey, I used to be an absolute victim, angry, like, "It's all happening to me. Who's doing this to me? Why is this happening?" But as we go through this discovery process of getting to know ourselves, and when that coach said to me when I hired a coach for Powell painting, because I just couldn't do it the way I was doing it, which was bootstrapping it and literally growing it with my energy. And I needed some systems in place so it could run a little better even if I wasn't around, which it does now. And so I had a master coach, and that coach said to me, "Damn, you're good at manifesting. You're just telling your brain what you want, and it's giving it to you." He said, "So when you keep saying, 'I'm so busy, I'm so busy,'" and I went, and so we had a little conversation around that, and I was like, hung up the call, and immediately I was on Doctor Google. How do I retrain my brain? Because it really hit me. It made sense. It was like a ding moment, right? Oh, I get it now. So if I'm creating my reality, I'm the common denominator, right? And so I've been there. I've been in that process. And as I've gone through this awakening, expansion, inner journey, whatever you choose to call it for self, I really, really have been honing in on that more. And, it was still that even my ex could still trigger me. And I was like, oh, that was like the last one. And then once I overcame and worked on that one, then it was like, okay, I got this. Right. So you sit in this position where you're now able to observe things and not ride a roller coaster of emotions that go along with it. So you're managing your emotions better. And the reason you can do that is because you're more balanced in your body. You're more comfortable with you. You're better at managing your energy. So now if something happens and I'm shocked or taken aback, the first thing I do is that really deep breath, filling those lungs, filling that belly, and then just pause for a second with that belly filled, and then breathe out through the nose longer than you breathe in. That will not only calm your vagus nerve, but it'll bring your heart rate down. So do it as many times as needed. But we're going to add to that today. Hi, Cindy. How are you? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it was a bumpy day today. For some reason, today was a bit bumpy. And so then what do? I just go, all right, I'm not doing anything. So I was trying to get some things accomplished today online. And I just backed away and said, okay, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to stay out of it. And so when you stay out of it, that you just observe everything kind of going by. And then I went down to the ocean. And so tomorrow is a new day. Yeah. So let's go back to this breath because I think this is really important. And as you heal and love yourself more, now this took me a few years. I'm not going to say it's going to take anyone that long, longer, shorter, because it's up to you. It's up to you. Yay! Yay, 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 yay. That's so good to hear. That's beautiful. I am so excited to hear that. Yeah. There's ways of shifting energy without expending your energy. Yeah, it feels very bumpy. Okay. All right, good. So it is a collective thing. That's kind of what I was picking up on. And so, when you observe that throughout the collective, and I witness a lot of things because I have this way of like just kind of tapping in energetically, but then also, and it was energetic this morning when I was like, I don't know what's going on today, but today's like something's up. Right? Because as a collective wave runner from the Cohu 32 chart, from the Western astrology, which is the matrix that we've come into, that we are unbinding, unwinding from to realign ourselves with our star rays. And if you have any questions about that, please ask. as we go through this process, it's a lot of ups and downs, but you get to choose how you react. What somebody else is doing is none of your business, but you can shift the energy with those people you're in relations with, right? One is the Ho'oponopono prayer. And when you're asking for forgiveness, when you bring somebody into mind and take a deep breath and you just put your heart and you just bring that person or the situation to mind and you say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. It's not about forgiving the other person, and do that at least 4 times, and there's lots of videos on YouTube for that one. It's more about forgiving yourself for maybe how you acted within that situation. How were you responding in right? Because, let's face it, sometimes we don't always behave exactly like we'd like to behave. Yeah, perfect. Beautiful. Yeah, if the more you command, the more you take control for shifting and managing energy, the more powerful you become, the more unconditionally you love yourself, the easier getting to know yourself and then manifesting that which you desire, finding that peace no matter what's going on chaotically. And let's just be clear, it is always most chaotic before great change. The breakdown for the breakthrough. We've been talking about this for years, right? This is right, being the eye of the storm, being the one that can witness things, send it love, do something if you can and you're called to, but make sure that you're putting yourself first. For when you find that inner peace, everything else is easier to deal with. And those moms out there know what I'm talking about, right? When you've got many kids and they're running around and screaming, right? It's that inner peace that keeps you calm, cool, and collected, mom, right? I used to give myself timeouts. I just need a little timeout. I'll be back. And it would just be to just take a few deep breaths and just recenter. And so let's go back to that breath for a minute. And those of you not driving, feel free to join in. Now, we talk about this breath because it's the Fibonacci breath and it's breathing in through the nose and it comes down and then you fill your belly. So think about the Fibonacci, right? And then breathing out through the nose again. And as you breathe in, you feel the air more on the inside of your nostrils. And as you breathe out slowly, you feel it more on the outside. This is a whole purification system. And as we do that, what I'd love you to do is go ahead and hold it at the bottom as long as you can. So let's do it together. Breathe in, fill the belly, hold. Now I can hold for a while. So breathe out very slowly out of the nose and all the way out. All the way, all the way, all the way, and hold. Now relax. And so as you do this, I encourage you to practice doing this. And when you can breathe all the air out of your body and the longer you can hold in that space, that's like the way the universe breathes, so to speak, right? And the way new things are birthed, created within the universe is a collection of energy and it almost combusts. So it's so strong and then it combusts, right? This is how we have splits of consciousness. When you become a star, it's like a combustion when you come in. It's a little chaotic, isn't it? So whenever we're birthing something new, yes, 0 point. Absolutely, thank you. It is the 0 point. But it's not a 0 point that we're trying to escape to or get back to. It's I always call it the void. It's my inner void. It's my place of peace, calm and harmony. And then once you get used to doing that, you should be able to tap into that with normal breath. Beautiful. Yep, absolutely. Beautiful. Thank you, Kriba. We knew. Yeah. Protect the peace. There's something to that, right? Yeah. And then we have things like, the shit show here in Canada. And I actually started laughing, and I apologize if this offends anyone, but I found it quite comical and funny. So, let's see what happens next. Yeah, absolutely. To just observe it. Truth is being revealed at the moment. A lot more than a lot of people realize or even understand yet. In order for great change to occur, we need to bring what's in the shadows into the light, right? Yes, we have a real clown show going on. Absolutely. I mean, all the shadows need to come into the light because that's what transforms it. That's what alchemizes it. You don't know what you don't know until you know, and then once you know, you can't unknow. Norma and I were talking the other day about how, the physical body is really the shadow that we're trying to integrate to work along with our higher self, our soul, our full soul, because we're a small tendril of that, right? And for those of you that know me, know that I speak about this all the time. Hello, Sharon. Good to see you. So think of it like a ball of yarn, and then one strings come off to from the main ball of yarn. So that would be your oversoul. And then you anchor in, so it creates linear time per se. Hello, Miss Justia. It creates linear time per se, and you anchor in there to have this experience, but it's a very small part of you. And so then we're balancing mind, body, and spirit right now. First half of your life for most, I'm not going to say all. Hello, Rebecca. I'm not going to say all, but for the first half of our lives, you're mostly figuring out how to operate in this realm and how to survive, right? And you look to your parents, you look to the teachers, you look to leaders, and then you finally realize that, you hit a point where it's like something happens in your life and you're like, no, this just isn't right. So tell me the truth about this. Or you start to meditate, or you start to do breath work, or you have an awakening, right? A spontaneous kundalini, maybe, right? Ninja sister, I love it. And you have this happen, and it blows your whole world apart. Everything you believe to be true that you were taught growing up is no longer, it's not true. And now you get to rebuild again. You're bringing everything that was in the shadows, and no, don't expect other people to see you during this process, or even maybe not even understand what the hell you're saying. I still have family. They accept me how I am, but they have no idea what I'm really saying when I'm saying it. It's interesting. And we really, really can't force anything onto anyone else. It is all up to them, and we know that. So we know that everyone is having their own experience right now, and they're right where they're supposed to be. And the only thing you can work on is you. You're the one. You're responsible for you and kids if you have kids. And even raising Jade this whole time, and there's many here that don't know this, but my dad was a dad who said, "You're going to do as I say and not as I do." Little Miss Rebel was like, "Fuck you." So I moved out at 16 so I could do what I wanted when I wanted. So I was definitely the fire of the family, so to speak. And I was not a go along to get along. I never was. I was always rubbing like everyone's going this way. What's over here? It's just who I was. And now I know why. And so as we go through this and we realize I'm not responsible for anyone else but me and my children, and to not do harm, to be kind. Doesn't mean you have to be nice, but to be kind. Yeah, something shifted. Absolutely. There's been a lot of shifts going on, a lot of shifts going on. And so as we go through this process and we learn how to love ourselves more, I can tell you, well, I went down a real path of learning, a whole bunch of how to heal, how to, support others in this. But what I realized was I can help somebody all they want. I can sit with them and do energy work and help to heal their mind. And then in a week, they're going to be back. Why? Because they're not doing any of the work themselves. So they get to be with the energy that is in a higher vibration and their whole body and soul goes, yeah, 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 yeah. And they ride that high and then it goes back down. And so this is why the custom meditations, this is why teaching each person how to create this for themselves. For there are, I call complete BS on this. Oh, you need to be attuned to energies. You are energy. Attuned to what? Attuned to believe that you're seeking outside of yourself for someone to attune you. I just don't believe that anymore. So as we go through this process, a lot of beliefs go out the window and they don't stop. And the shadow work doesn't stop, or the inner work doesn't stop, or the lineage work. Because there's things where I feel an emotion. And the other day it was one of those reoccurring ones around um like an angst around this, and it's been consistent around doing this flip between Powell painting and moving over to AFC, and it's got this, it goes like this, and then it goes like this, and then it goes like this, and I'm like, all right, let's just crank it up. And so actually did have a conversation with somebody, and we went into the quantum and worked on it together. And so beautiful soul. I'm not saying one can do all of this by themselves. You can, but you can certainly speed it up, increase, expand faster with assistance and guidance. And so that's what Adventures for Connection is all about, right? Getting, yeah, we share space for others to share. Absolutely. We're going through this process of nobody's done this before. There's no manual over here to read. We're figuring it out as we go along. We're following our inner guidance and collectively chatting to see how we can best support not just each other, but the collective as well, as much as we can. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That part. Yes. So when we have this ability to be connected as souls, and if you're not in the Telegram group, that's where a lot of this is happening. And so, yes. And that's because we can do it more in real time, right? We're not being limited, but the new website, which is very exciting, will have that chat capacity and video capacity. So we're looking forward to that. Uh, mm. So over on Rumble, Doc 1572, can you put that back up, please? Do you know why I occasionally hear a metal clang bang, usually in calm drowsiness periods? It sounds like somebody's trying to get your attention. Yeah. So when this is happening, and a lot of the times I'll hear voices, like I heard Michelle who lives over there, who's works with me on Powell painting, but is very tapped into energy. I literally heard her. So there was something playing out, a conversation playing out in my head between her and I, and it didn't sound like me. It sounded like an old me, which was very interesting. And then she answered me, and I was like, "Ooh." interesting, because she was, and I heard it very clearly. So when we hear these sounds and these in between, it's when you are conscious, your consciousness is, you're going to a lower vibration and you're able to tap and tune into different things. You've adjusted your radio frequency per se, or you're changing the channel. So I'd be curious to have a conversation about it, because I'm sure we could get to the bottom of it pretty quickly, and any insight and information. But a lot of the time, if I hear bangs or bells or clangs, it is generally a pay attention, but then it pulls you back out. So yeah, one needs to be able to observe that without reacting, but that takes practice. See if you can observe it. Next time it's happening, instantly command consciousness to show you where it's coming from. Shows in the third eye. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's another dimension. Yeah. Yeah. It's a door open. Absolutely. Attunement is sharing. Feel that the English term attunement is sharing space for others to experience frequency. You could say that, but what I'm referring to is the fact that a Reiki or quantum practitioner says, I must attune you before you can practice. You must be at this level before you can advance. So it's putting rules and regulations onto something that is here as long as you believe you can achieve. And a lot of people don't, you're just so, we're so trained, we're so brainwashed to be looking outside of ourselves for guidance. Now, I'm not saying teachers aren't important. They are. Guides are important. But I'm also saying that don't think you can't do energy healing, because you do anyways. You're always using your energy. Think about when you have a headache, or oh no, this happened, or be still my heart, right? Like these are chakras. These are all chakras. You are using energy all the time. I heard someone say something in my head today so loudly, I replied, no need to shout. I'll ask if they were sending me energy. Yeah. I think a lot of people are really, really, some are so damn pushy. I think a lot of people are really being activated at the moment. So nothing is really surprising me. Yeah. Energy is there regardless of attunement. Yes, that's what I'm referring to. Yeah. Avoiding me or avoiding himself. Yeah, good point. Saying I don't need meditation. I don't need it. It helps, but I don't need it. This is it. Yes, absolutely. You should be in a meditative state as much as possible. That's where one can sit and be that neutral observer, remembering that I'm not the one speaking, I'm not the one thinking, I'm the one observing that. Walking meditation is the goal. Yes. That's why I spent hours and hours. I would go get lost in the woods, and it's hard to get lost here because it's the side of a mountain, but I would get as lost as I could to find my way out. Yeah. Some days easier than others. But just to spend time with me outside in nature, because that's what really, I want to say, it was a breakthrough point for me, for sure. Absolutely. Was like, because, you have to remember when one is answering the phones, dealing with the clients, dealing with the staff, managing everything, it's a lot. Being a mother, it's a lot. Yeah. And so trying to find that peace just to be, right? Yeah. And now I'm just, now it's peace all the time. Yeah. Because I choose peace. And I'm so grateful for this body, and I'm so grateful for all the grounding. Do you know that snowboarding feeling when you're working with earth and the like gravity, if you call it gravity, magnetized, and you're just surfing along in the snow. It is such a free feeling. It's like being a little kid and you're just in the moment playing. You're not thinking about anything else. There's nothing to think about but what you're doing, because you got to be paying attention when you're going that fast too. Yeah. Right before you enter that walking meditation, energy won't dream and feel awake when asleep, but don't remember, but more tuned during the day like a dream. Yeah. Well, which is more real, the dream or the right? Which world's more real, right? Is it the dream one or is it this one? Yeah. We're all finding out more about that right now, aren't we? Absolutely. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? I'm just excited to be here today to play. And I got another hike planned for this weekend to get up into the snow. And so, again, I live on the side of a mountain. We're in the rainforest. So it's very, very peaceful and healing. And I don't run into many people when I'm out. The last 3 days of barely sleeping. Yeah, right? Absolutely. Yeah, it's very strange when you now I don't personally, I don't do that. My energy runs hot enough that I command my body to sleep. I don't know, it works for me. It used to drive me crazy. I had a friend of mine that could get on a plane and he would go to sleep like this. And I'd be sitting on the plane and be like, "Well, that's nice. How does he do that?" And so we talked about it. He goes, "Oh, I trained my body to do that." So he trained his body how to go to sleep no matter what. And so I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna figure that out. You give me a challenge and I'm gonna take it." And so I can fall asleep on the plane now too, and I can command my body to go to sleep. I may wake up every few hours and go, "No, we're not getting up yet. Back to sleep, please. We're not getting up." Yeah. And Cindy says, "I knew something was going to happen today and wasn't surprised when it did. I was like, I knew it." Yes. Trusting that smaller inner voice, that's your guidance. If you can hear that voice and recognize it from the regular thoughts that are coming through, and it'll be one that you'll be like, "Oh, I never would have thought of that." And ask questions. Ask to be shown signs. So Cindy was saying she commanded to see a black dog before an appointment or a dog before an appointment. Sure enough, she saw the dog. You could ask for, "Please show me hearts, please show me if you're here with me and you're guiding me, please show me." And then whatever you choose, or if you've got a loved one that's no longer with you, ask them to show you that they're still here because they are. We just can't perceive it with these eyes. And that would be another thing. So if you're hearing a statement or you're hearing that banging of the door or the metal, does that correlate to somebody in your life? Does that correlate to a situation in your life that you can recall? That would be interesting too. It's like a bit of an adventure game. Yeah, that's what I like to look at it because everything is happening for me, not to me. And when you see the science coming out next around how this body works, how this brain works, how these eyes work, we're going to be seeing a lot more. Oh, hi, Jenny. Good to see you. Thank you. Loads of love to you too. Good. Get a workout in. That's important for the body too. Yeah. We when we went down to the water, we went and grabbed some fruit, and I had we had these huge sumo oranges, and I had half of one of those this morning and a few grapes, or this afternoon around lunchtime. And then we went down to the water, and I was like, we got to get some more fruit because I've been really eating fruit during the day and then having like a salad at night, or roasted vegetables, or a soup, right? And just giving the body a break, especially after the holidays, of just easier to digest foods. Well, we hit that store and I was fine. I was fine. I was fine. We hit the cheese section to get some goat cheese. And I went, "Oh, I'm starving. We got to go." And so, um, yeah. How are you guys doing with food? I saw all those posts yesterday in the Telegram chat about sourdough bread and focaccia bread, and I'm like, "Yes." I love seeing all that. Yeah, that's right. Right? Uh, yeah, absolutely. We hear you. Yeah, being a teacher in these times, love. Whoo-wee. Absolutely. Like personalizing your brain. Absolutely. Yeah, so as we go into these next few weeks, remember, just those deep breaths are your friend. Yeah. I'm so glad gluten loved me, loves you. Yeah. Yeah, it depends, right? I do mostly Italian flour or einkorn, Einkorn, I think, which is a non-hybridized wheat. That's what I choose to use because I feel better when I do that. So, and that'll go in fits and starts. Right now, it's a lighter phase just to give my body a break. Um, yeah, probably build into a bit of a fast here. And I know some of you have been fasting recently, so we'll see. Weather's a little harder. Hibernation's a little strong right now, so it can always be a little more challenging to run a full fast, but let's see. Wouldn't surprise me if that's what happens next. It's good for the soul, and it's good around the full moon to do a parasite cleanse. You haven't been able to eat much. Yeah. You know, your body will know. Yeah. Yeah, your body's gonna tell you, "Stop drinking coffee." Well, flavored creamers, no. I drink black if I drink coffee, but I've been having so there's a couple things that have been interesting that I can when you start to see visualization. So I I dress extremely casual because of the painting business, because at any given time, I'm outside doing a walk in the meantime, like, I just demand to be really comfortable anyways, and I kept seeing these changes in my wardrobe, and I'm like, "Where is this coming from? Interesting," right? So I'm just observing it, and then look at my hair. My hair's not been this long for at least 15 years? And all of a sudden, it was like, "No, you're supposed to grow it out." And I'm like, "Really?" Oh, and normally by now would have driven me bonkers, and it's not bothering me at all. So there's always a time and a place when things start to shape and you're alchemizing yourself where things change, whether it be food, your hair, your clothing. Absolutely. And taking these space and time. And then there's been some things going on around the house and about seeing more space. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it's like these things are starting to show themselves of the next evolution. And what does that look like? I'm just going to keep seeing them and see what happens next. Yeah. Okay. So we have a couple questions. Yeah. Yeah, you have a Chastity has a little coffee with her cream and sugar, nice. Good cleanse for gallbladder. First, parasite cleanse. We don't go right to the gallbladder. First, the parasite, cleanse, and then I think it's liver, don't quote me on this yet, and then I think it's kidneys, and then it's gallbladder, but you wanna know the quickest way to reset everything is gonna be to go onto a water fast, but it also could be a bit of a shock to the system, so I wouldn't recommend it for everyone. So I would recommend intermittent fasting, and I would definitely cut out wheat, dairy, and sugar, and then see how that goes. And then step into a bit of a cleanse. There's different cleanses for different organs, but I know that you start with the parasite and then the liver. Oh, and heavy metal detox too. So we can chat about that more on the Telegram group to go through that, and we'll go along with you. So I'll put up some more information and probably a video over the weekend regarding that, because that is the mission, is to do a bit more of a cleanse, whether it's a bone broth cleanse or it's a strict fast. I don't know yet. I'm not going to claim one or the other. I'll see when I get there. But most importantly is to not shock your body. Right? Don't put yourself out even more, because it can be a little uncomfortable, right? Especially all at once. So, yeah. Just follow what your guidance is giving you and what your body's telling you. If you're hungry, eat. If you're not hungry, don't eat. But if you can give it more of a break and get some more fluids in there. I mean, I was watching a video on a fellow who's only eating fruit and he hasn't drank water in a year. Now, don't quote me on this because I don't know for a fact, but we are electromagnetic. Our bodies are electromagnetic. And so then as we go through this process, there's a chemical thing that happens. And so I don't know for a fact if he hasn't had water for a year. So, but if he's doing just fruit, He's got it so its body is doing a hydrogen process and making the water, which I found quite fascinating. Beautiful. Absolutely. You can use that for detoxing for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And that's okay. So it's funny, right? They call this process an expansion or ascension. Think about it. How does the universe breathe? Right? This everything's always moving. So wouldn't it make sense if one was to expand a little bit and then contract a little bit? Yeah. I think it just depends on the person and depends on your body and it depends on your surroundings and the energies and the emotions. There's so many things that can cause that. Different body types need different things, yeah. Higher dimensions don't need much water, most drink too much water. Weighs it down, absolutely. Thank you, Chastia. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't drink as much water as I used to, but I also don't work out as much as I used to. Yeah, I'm much more about a softer flexibility. Yeah, I've evolved. I'm a different person, right? And remember, there's your gratitude right there, how far we've come from where we were a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Just not even the same person anymore. It's quite beautiful. Absolutely. Let's just take a few minutes. Can we do a let's just let me give you another tool today. So along with this breath, just relax yourself. You can close your eyes if you choose. Take a few deep breaths in, nice and deep. Yes, and that breath out is that center point. If you think about how a baby breathes, you can close your eyes if you choose. And a baby's lying in their crib and it's all swaddled up, and you just see its belly rise and fall. It innately knows how to breathe. I don't know what age it was that one started to suck in their gut, hold their breath more, breathe more shallow. But I encourage you to take those really big, beautiful, deep breaths. It's so freeing. And now imagine that your whole body is breathing and your skin is breathing too. And visualize that air coming in and out of the body. Your skin is your biggest organ. You are your own you inverse. And every little cell is dancing and moving. You've got nerve endings. Your hands are like terminals. Your feet are like terminals. Now, here's one for you for those that are in the cold and need to ground a little bit more. I want you to visualize a silver disc, pure silver, and visualize now that you're standing on two of them and they're so stable, they stay with you. You are magnetized to them. This is one way to be grounded no matter what's going on, is to close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. And imagine these two plates and just standing on them, and they just keep you so stable and so centered. They're yours. For the imagination, The mind does not know the difference, so you may command. I command that I am grounded, rooted, stable, safe, and secure. No matter what's going on around me, I am the eye of the storm. I am the tree that is so deeply rooted that no matter how the wind blows, I am firm. I am safe. For before I ever came up above the earth, I first rooted down, and I never stopped rooting down. For the taller I got above the ground, the deeper I go. For as above, so below. So your nervous system is like roots in the body, sending messages all the time. And when you just go into your center point, your heart space, your solar plexus, and you just follow that big, beautiful breath in and out, you are safe. You are secure. This now moment is the only moment. What happened earlier today is gone. And what will happen tomorrow, we do not know. And if we can stay present with the breath, with the stability, we can handle anything. Beautiful. I'm going to send you all a little extra love. And I encourage you. You know, my hands are always activated. And you can play with an energy ball. And you can wash it over you. Cleanse your energy. Hello, Patty. Good to see you, love. And Carolyn, I'm glad you're using your tuning forks. All good, Rebecca. Work, play, there's always a recording if you like. You cannot look outside of yourself to anyone for peace. It's only within you. And the more of us that tune in, do you know that when you manage your own energy and you choose peace and you choose unconditional love, and you imagine it going out like a blanket, and we can do this right now. Imagine this beautiful energy love blanket. And breathing as you breathe out, it starts to go around your entire body. And then it goes into the entire room. Then your entire house. And the entire block. The entire city. Your entire country or continent. And what about the entire world? The more of us that do that, the more we infect others with that same frequency. Yeah. A lot of people are having very weird dreams. So if you were to take those few minutes every day and just send out that love, and if you went out your door with curiosity, wonder what magic will happen today. MAGIK, because that is the true magic that we create. Magique. Yeah, there's a lot of weird dreams going on right now. Absolutely. Alright, you guys. I'm gonna sign off. Patty, you're gonna have to catch the replay, my love. We had a good chat about energy and energy healing, and Carolyn, I'm really glad that you're using so she's got tuning forks. I don't think I have one in here, and she's been using it on her knee, so we'll go through some of that this evening in the live. We have a class today, class, a Zoom meeting, a gathering, a gathering of souls to go through some guidance. And if I was hoping that Miss Norma Jean, but she's not hearing me. That's all right. Okay, this Sunday we'll do the draw. I want to do the draw for the free session. So every month we do a draw. So for those of you that have not signed up for the newsletter, you can sign up for the newsletter. And then a reminder for those who don't know, I am going to Sedona, middle of March. I'm this close to location, so stay tuned. And that one I'm not advertising on the website. That's a quiet one for good reason. So reach out if you're interested. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful Kriva. Going within, I find the one I've always needed. I was always here. Absolutely. And that's so beautiful. That's what everyone, so I wish for everyone is to find that unconditional love for self. For that is where the true alchemy begins, so that one can grow from within and create your own universe and then outerverse. All right, you guys, I'm sending you lots of love. Have a really, really beautiful week. And we're back on Sunday. And I've been planning Egypt. We're super excited about that one. Greece, Vedette. Yeah, we've got some beautiful things coming up. So, yeah, I'm so grateful for you guys. All right, I love you.